Thank you, traffic. Thank you, furnace. Hello, UB here, and today we're going to talk about how I took 2 cabinets from the thrift store and turned them into a free little library. So let's get started. Alright, so first off, what is a free little library? Basically, there's a lot of them in the town that I live in, whether it's a free little library or the offshoots of that, which are free little pantries, free little blockbusters, all of that sort of thing. And the idea is that it's a community supported item that somebody puts in their front yard, and it invites people to basically give a penny, take a penny sort of scenario, but with books if it's a free little library, food items and basic necessities if it's a free little pantry, DVDs if it's a blockbuster, and in this case it's going to be a free little art library. My goal is that there's going to be things like pencils and paints and all sorts of fun things that are appropriate for all ages to give different kinds of art a try. If you're a little bit ADHD and you try a million different kinds of crafts and don't know what to do with the supplies when you kind of burn out on that craft, you can bring that stuff from that craft and put it into the free little art library where it can find a home with somebody else. At least that's the goal. We'll see how it turns out, and hopefully I'll be able to update you guys on how it goes, but I really think there's a place for this kind of free little library. So I started with 2 little cabinets that I found at Goodwill, and I thought I was going to have to choose between the 2, but realistically they both fit the bill, and so I wanted to just stack one on top of the other. The wood grain cabinet was really set up for success in this sort of scenario. It has little magnets that hold the door shut. It's got a nice little handle, and the drawer underneath needed a little bit of work to make sure that it slid nicely in and out, but it really was the best setup I could find in a very small cabinet from a thrift store, and I'm very excited that I found it. With that being said, the glass did need to be replaced, so I had to take the whole thing apart, which was a little bit of an ordeal, but I made sure to label every piece as I was taking it apart with sticky notes so that I knew how to put it back together. In the middle of taking this guy apart because it came without its glass, what I need to do here, I think, is smack it with a hammer until it comes apart. But I'm a little bit nervous because I can see in the edges here that it was goobered up pretty good with wood glue when it was put together. Alright, so it's been a few days and I'll tell you why. I started filming this on the day that my acrylic was supposed to come in for the front panel of that guy. I got it and it's entirely too thick. I ordered a 1/4 inch and I should have known that that was gonna be too thick, but I was just very excited. I knew it was gonna be delivered and I started the project and then realized that this was not going to work. So my partner was nice enough to help me cut down the plexi to the correct size, and now I need to glue this back together with some wood glue and go from there. At that point, I can put back together the other cabinet, and then we'll have 2 solid cabinets ready to go for the free little library. So with the frame put back together with some wood filler in between the joints, I was able to get everything solid and in the right place with the glass in that front door. And I used UV resin to really seal up those edges, make sure that they're a little bit more weather resistant, make sure that those edges weren't going to come apart again. This was originally constructed with little tiny nails in each of the joints on the corners, and so I wanted to make sure that I gave a little more rigidity to the end design because I wasn't going to put those little nails back in. The other thing that I need to adjust before I put this cabinet back together is that this drawer just fit kind of snug. So what I'm gonna do is go on the bottom here and shave off just a little bit on each side so that hopefully it slides a little bit easier. And if not, this is something that I can always play with after the cabinets have been stuck together. Despite not putting in a lot of money to this project, I actually did find two cabinets that were very well suited for this scenario. And really the only thing that had to happen with this white cabinet was that I had to take the portion off that was made to hang things like coats and hangers and that sort of thing if this piece were to be hung up in an entryway of some sort. What we can see here with this cabinet is I've done 2 layers of wood filler on the edges where I kind of goofed things up a little bit, and I just need to sand that down and put a fresh coat of paint. I'm not going to worry about the color too much over top, just to give it that little bit of weather resistance that the paint is going to give it. The rest of the cabinet is actually perfect for our uses. The doors open up and they have little magnets on the bottom that help the doors stay closed. They have their glass and it's got a solid bottom and top. After the cabinets are both put together, what I'm going to do is stack one on top of the other. The cabinet that I started on first is the one that's going to be our free little art library. I think it'll be perfect because the little drawer on the bottom of the piece is perfectly suited to put things like pencils and paintbrushes and that sort of stuff inside that people can kind of rifle through and see what they might want out of the stash that's already there. The bottom is going to be this wider piece that I took the top off of, and that is going to be a free little pantry with any luck. There are a number of free little pantries in my neighborhood already, so we'll see if it's more suited to be used as a pantry or be used as a free little library down the road. Once the 2 pieces are stacked on top of each other, they're going to be placed on a beam that is going to be cut down to size, and I'm going to do a very elaborate decoration of that post. A lot of people will decorate their free little libraries to look like little libraries or birdhouses or something similar. And what I want to do is, instead of focusing so much on the cabinet portion of the free little library, I want to decorate the base of it to make it look like a magical sort of fairy stump, if you will, that will live in our front yard. The way I intend to do this is I'm going to build the stump portion separately from the cabinets. That way I'll be able to put the beam through the middle of the stump and then put the cabinets on top, and the beam will go into the ground like a fence post. The decoration of that stump that I'm talking about will be a separate video coming out eventually. It is quite the undertaking, but it is the kind of art that I want to be making nowadays. So please subscribe if you want to see the end result of this sort of fairy mystical free little library. While I'm here, I want to say thank you to my patrons, Mark, Nathaniel, Twyla, and Liam. You guys are amazing and so patient with me, and thank you so much for your unending support. It is truly truly appreciated. If you like what you see, make sure to subscribe, like the video, comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on a free little library and if you have maybe seen one in your neighborhood before. Psych! I bet you thought I forgot to give you your experience points. Here's 1,000 just for getting to the end of the video. Thank you so much again. And don't forget to drink some water. Love you guys. See you in the next video.